Okay, and welcome to a real-time update. So it's been about a week since the last one. So I've actually got an agenda, which is not normal, I know, but I keep recording and forgetting. Forgetting there was something I had to say. So in this update, what I'm going to do is there's going to be a celebration. So that's what we'll start with. There's going to be an episode update of what's left until we're up to real time. A boat update, what's going on with the boat situation. That's probably why everyone's here. What have I been doing in the last week? What I'm going to be doing in the upcoming week. And then I'm going to answer a few of the comments I had on a few of the previous episodes. And then I'm going to tell you what is actually in the mystery box that you've seen in the thumbnail, and I have a few thank yous to say. So I don't know what's just happened. I just suddenly feel really weird. Anyway. Right, I actually don't know what happened then. This morning when I was making the thumbnail for this video and I went to hold the mystery box and then put a thumb up, and I did it all a bit too quick, and you know when you're like, I don't know if I've like just pulled something. I don't think it's serious. It's not really that it hurts, it's just really awkward, and I don't know if just the angle I was sat at then just kind of froze me a little bit. Anyway, we'll proceed. So the celebration. So I did pour a wine, but now I feel a little bit funny. Probably not going to celebrate with that. But what are we celebrating? We've reached a YouTube milestone. So it's not the monetization milestone. It's the like little middle one. So for that milestone, you need to have and I think it's meant to like suggest a halfway sort of milestone, which I think then would suggest that the second half happens a bit quicker. It's hard to explain, but basically I needed to reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours in order to be able to turn on like YouTube memberships and some other little bits that allow you to do a bit of extra. And it's not that serious of a milestone, but nevertheless there's a milestone, and it's a YouTube channel, so it's, yeah, we've met that milestone. So, and actually we're quite beyond it regarding the subscribers. So there's like nearly 800. I don't have it in front of me, but I think there might be like 794, so we're nearly at 800. So we only need 200 more to reach the 1,000 that we need for monetization, and we need roughly 900 more watch hours. So I'm quite confident that I'll make that, and I want to make it really by my birthday. Ideally, I really want to make it by the end of February, because otherwise it starts to not count some of the ones that happened before, and then it won't count episode 1, which contributes quite a lot of the watch hours, and then after a week, episode 2s won't count anymore. So really I want to make it by the end of February, but I'd like to make it by my birthday on the 21st of February. It's a big squeak, wait. Because it'll be something to celebrate then. I'll try and find, because I don't have the number, but the amount of YouTube channels that start and never make it to that 1,000, and it might have taken some time, but we're quite close to it now. And I remember when I first started looking at 4,000 watch hours, I'm thinking, I have no idea how I would ever get anywhere near it, or would I, or I didn't know. So to be 200 subscribers away and around about 900 watch hours away is close enough to really make a push. And I have a few videos lined up which I think will do quite well, and a bit more about that later on in this update. So yeah, we're celebrating. Did pour a wine to celebrate, so cheers to that. Hopefully this wine doesn't send me over the edge. Just have a little sip. Yeah, so next up, episode update. So I'm not entirely sure yet whether there'll be 1 or 2 more episodes until we're at Realtime. The last episode we got to La Ciotat, and then we've got to get to where I am now, pick up some crew, plan to go over to Mallorca, and the rest is, if you've watched this before, you know what happens. So I don't know if it'll be 1 or 2, because as with the last couple of episodes, if the audio is really, really bad, I'll just take that out and try explain it. So it might be that I can get into 1 episode and then we'll be caught up. So that's something worth celebrating too, because it's just an excuse to have a wine maybe. But I was obviously months behind, so to finally nearly be caught up is great, because then going forward, the episodes, we can get to where we do what we're supposed to be doing and have a day where an episode comes out every week, which is your standard sort of what's happened in the week sort of episode. And then I'm going to probably then have another day where I put on some of the videos that are not from last year, but I want to do one about what I learned trying to charter boats, and I've got a few other ones too that I'd like to do. So they'll then probably come out on another day of the week. So yeah. Then, thinking about that, just while I'm on the subject, I think because I talk quite a lot, and sometimes I've got too much, not too much, but a lot to say, I'll probably then start to do it in the way that probably makes a lot more sense, where the weekly episode is showing what I do in the sort of like traditional sailing sort of channel way, and then I might have a more in-depth where I just explain everything in a bit more detail, because as much as I try to think I won't have too much to say, I probably will, and I know that people quite like a nice 20 to 30 minute short video, and then people can choose if they want to watch the more in-depth sort of explanation videos. So that's the plan with that. Next up, the boat update. As you probably know, I am looking at another boat. It's another thing that will be a video. I've already kind of half done it, but I might have to re-record some of the bits, but I'll get onto that later in the video, where I show you around this boat and why it's going to be very hard going forwards, some of the things that are broken, etc. So regarding the other boat, the Lifeline boat, the one that might get us out of here a lot quicker, a lot easier, etc., there was a yes on it on around about the 15th of December, and since then we've just been waiting. So I know the captain of the port, or the harbour master or whatever, he's back in tomorrow, and I tend to not want to like bug them too much, because they are really helpful and they do help me with a lot. So I saw him the other day and he said he was quite busy. I'm gonna go in tomorrow and just try say like, can we call? And because really it's very difficult at the minute to move forward while I'm waiting on that. Like, this is not really relevant, but I had a dream the other day, and I think I must be worrying about it that much, that in the dream some person I don't know, fictional character within my dream, said to me, oh, you can't take that boat anymore. So that's kind of probably the level of like, is it going to happen, isn't it going to happen? It was a yes, so everything would suggest it should happen. But if we can get the yes, then I'll be really busy sorting all of that stuff out, and during that I'm probably going to do a live, because I've got quite a lot of things I want to ask you guys about, bits I'm a bit uncertain about what to do. So tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to go in tomorrow and just say, can we call today? And if he's busy, I might say, can I email the guy myself then, because he doesn't speak English. My French isn't good enough that I'd be able to have the conversation in French. So I might then, if everyone's busy tomorrow, just say, I'll just try explain why I need to know, really, because I'm having to find other things to do when really the most important thing I should be doing is working out how I'm going to get out of here. Which takes me nicely on to what I've been doing. So, yesterday I went to pick up the mystery box. So that was the day, because going anywhere from here involves buses and a long walk. So that's what I did yesterday. Other than that, since the last update, I've obviously put a few episodes on, so I've been doing that. And I've been trying to start to sort through the amount of stuff that's on this boat that going forwards probably needs to not be on it anymore. If I want to use it to make some money next year and stuff, I need it to be just a little more empty on the inside. So I'm going to have to be quite ruthless. And in actually going through everything that's in here, I'm coming across things that probably have some value, and I might be able to generate a little bit of money from them. So that's taken quite a while. And then both the things I was mostly doing, so that and the solar arch is broken. So one of the solar panels actually like this, and I'm just hoping it survives and doesn't come off. I've tried to reinforce it, but it's too windy at the minute to put it back up, so it's probably better just to leave it in the position it's landed in, and the wind is meant to go away quite soon, so hopefully we'll be alright with that. But I have been building in the process of building a wooden solar arch. I think after it's going to look quite cool, and it's another part of what I'll be filming for what's coming up, where try to make some parts I need out of things I can find rather than buy. So I've been doing that, and then I've been trying to sort my tax/address problems out. So a lot of people ask, how am I allowed to be in France so long? It's because it's not behind me. I have a French sort of residency which lasts for 5 years, because I used to work in France before I did this. The issue though is I don't now have the fixed address. Do I want to say this? We've been quite positive so far. I forgot we had the positivity meter. I don't think I've said anything too negative yet, but I don't think this is negative, but it just might sound a bit out there. In order to fix my address problems, I have a few options. The boat doesn't count, which it's annoying really, because I do live on the boat, but I'm not allowed to use it obviously as an address. And in order to fix my tax problem, the tax problem is not a big one, but I'm meant to have the documentation for quite a lot of things. So when it comes to me needing to do something, they ask for the tax documentation and I don't have it. So I've spent quite a lot of time the last few days trying to research what to do about that. And the crazy sounding thing is, in order to obtain a postal address in France, which would then enable me to sort out quite a lot of the other things that I need to sort out. Like, I have issues with banking by only being able to use mobile banking apps, because I don't actually have a French bank account. And I don't have an English bank. Well, no, sorry, I do have an English bank account, but I haven't really been in England for ages, and I don't have the card for it. And in order to get the card posted out, I need an address. So everything's a little bit complicated regarding the address situation. So it is something I need to sort out, but I don't have one. It used to be registered at the campsite I used to work on, and in order to be able to keep my residency, all of these things I need to sort out. And another example is Patreon, for example, sent me something the other day saying that I need to update them with the tax situation thing that I don't have, in order to legally be able to use it. So it's just another example. There's loads of various little things, and that's quite a life admin problem that I need to sort out. And I'm getting to it. Don't know why I keep putting off saying it. The easiest way to do it is if I go register as being homeless, apparently, because that will allow me to have a little address somewhere. And then I looked, well, am I homeless? Because obviously this boat's my home, but technically I am homeless. I live in France with a residency and I don't have an address, which apparently means I am homeless. I don't want to add that to the negative thing because it's quite a positive thing, because it would enable me to have an address, and if it means I'm classed as homeless, then I'm classed as homeless, so be it. I live on a boat, but I need to get that sorted, so that's something else I've been doing. So yeah, clearing things out, address problems, trying to sort out so I can sort out this tax problem, because I don't really want to get kicked out of France, so I do need to sort these things out. And then yeah, trying to sort, like, it's going to take days to like sort through everything, and then finish that solar arch. That's halted now because of the weather, and I dropped the battery for the jigsaw in a puddle, which probably not going to surprise anyone. I need to take it apart and see if I can get it working again. It's quite scary because it's an electric battery, and I don't really fancy electrocuting myself this week. So in the upcoming week, I'm going to carry on doing the things I've been doing, all of the things I've just mentioned. There's some potential boat work which I was meant to be doing the last few days, but I've not seen the guy. I think it'll still happen because he's selling a boat here, and it's maybe 3 days of work, so I can earn a little bit of money doing that. But I haven't seen him, but it could very well be that I'm doing that in the next week. And the guy from the port, we're going to go and make some blueberry rum, but it's like a local blueberry, because apparently they're in season at the minute, and there's a place where you can go get quite a lot of it from. And he did give me one the other day. It was actually really nice, so I'll film doing that as well if anyone wants to see how to make blueberry rum. That's one of the things I've got planned for the next week. And with all the weeks, I'm always I spend quite a bit every day looking for any work locally on boats and stuff, and I need to start to think about, I did try it a little bit last year, and I did actually get some work from advertising doing boat work. We know what happened with that, but I need to not just let that put me off being able to do it again, because as we start to move towards spring, there will be boats and potential boat work. And something else I'd quite like to get into is, I have like the scuba diving license and stuff, and last year I missed out on it, but apparently over in Antibes they have, like, I think I showed you the regatta on one morning. I woke up in Antibes and there was boats everywhere, and I mentioned it to someone afterwards, and they said people were crying out for someone to dive under and clean the bottom of the boats, but they couldn't find anyone. You'd have made an absolute killing. So that is something I want to have in my locker, if you like, because another thing, and again, I don't mean to go too much into detail with it in this update, but it's around about this time of year, all of the boats that have annual places in a lot of the port have to have the bottom cleaned. And I didn't realise until recently, one of the guys was telling me that he's exchanging some work with someone who's going to come and do it on scuba with a bottle and stuff, and apparently that still counts as long as it's been cleaned in certain ports. Something I need to look into a bit more, but it's a potential decent bit of money there, so it's something I'm looking into. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it's an idea. And I did start, like I say, last year setting up, well, not setting up, but advertising to do various bits of boat work. So it's something that I'm going to spend quite a bit of time in the next week looking into as well. Whether it ends up being from here or over in the Balearic Islands where I'm planning to go, we'll see. But obviously earning money is something I need to do, so I'd like I've said, to do it while still being here on the boat, so I can show it can be done. if obviously it gets to the absolute end, then I'll have to rethink. But again, I'll get onto that a bit later on. Right, I'll get onto it now actually. Answering a few of the comments from some of the last videos. So I've not answered them on purpose, but kind of have at the same time, because I just thought it'd be better explained rather than... I'm not sure how... The thing with text and typing is it comes across how you read it, I guess. So if I try to explain it, it might come across in the way that I mean it rather than not. So obviously if you're doing something like this, you open yourself up to comments, and I wouldn't say I disagreed with any of the comments. I think they're all actually right. So we have the audio quality. So I'll go into that first. I think I keep mentioning, I know myself the risk of putting these videos on and the audio quality being a bit, well, very crap in some of them. I think I've said I've tried my best to like edit it out as much as I can, but the GoPro was broken and I didn't realise it was broken until months later when I came to edit them videos, and then I didn't really want to not put them on full stop. But I am aware of the risk of putting them on, and people will click on the channel, see a video that's not that well put together, and then maybe never click on it again. But I also didn't want to just not put the whole summer on, which is effectively kind of what I'd have had to do. So yeah, a lot of it I've cut out because I've kind of had to, because you just couldn't hear anything, and tried to explain it afterwards. But then that also doesn't make very good videos when it's just a bit like this, where it's just watching me talk and tell you what I did without actually showing you it. So the good news is, like I say, there's only like 1 or 2 more of them left, and then that will stop being the case. A few people have mentioned about a microphone. The GoPro itself is like a fairly old one, and it's broke. I've tried various different things, and even if there is no wind and it's completely quiet, the same thing happens, because I don't know what it's called. I'm not like I don't know that much about the insides of them, but I can be talking like this, and it kind of goes in and out, and then any slight little like noise, or if I move a little bit, it makes like a really abrupt sound, and it shouldn't do that. And the GoPro I had before, so like the first half of everything I recorded, I could do this and it would stabilize, and if I did that, it would stabilize. Whereas this one, the whole time I've been recording on it, when I've then actually come to edit the videos, I used to be able to get some footage of what I was doing, but everything I put on, it didn't stabilize at all. And it's not necessarily to mean I haven't tried to be quite careful, but they're meant to be quite forgiving, that if I do that, it kind of catches it. So that's why in some of the videos that have been on recently, you might see like a clip that's just been slowed down as much as I can, because it might have been a 15-second clip, but it's all over the place. So then I've just tried to get the stillest part and slow it down so that it's slow enough that you actually kind of see it. So a microphone would probably help with the wind noise, but what it wouldn't have done was help with the fact that whatever the system is inside is broken. I bought it used, and then probably did have some sort of guarantee when I bought it, but I bought it I can't actually remember where I bought, which Cash Converters or wherever I bought it from at the time. And when you buy things from Cash Converters, you expect them to work, but I can think of loads of examples of times I've bought something from Cash Converters and it not work. So we'll blame Cash Converters. And the fact I was behind meant that I'd have realised the problem a lot quicker than I did. But apologies about the audio on the videos, and thank you to everyone who still persevered with them, even though it's quite bad. So, and some of them ones as well, there's still, a few people subscribed from like episode 66, which I'm going to get onto in a minute, and I think like while I put that one on, I got like 12 subscribers overnight, which I never get 12 subscribers overnight. But yeah, obviously all of them videos would have done a lot better if they was filmed a bit like the original one. And there's hours and hours and hours of footage which is just gone, deleted, because it couldn't be used. So that's about the audio, etc. And then the other thing is, and again, I'm not disagreeing with any of these comments, the episode was quite depressing, and and I'm not disagreeing with the comment. I fully agree. People have said to me loads of times that, you know, if they know me and they see some of the stuff that I put on there, it's quite hard to watch. And it's quite hard for me to edit it through. And I thought by now I'd have been able to have shown already something a lot more positive sometimes than I do end up putting on. And if that episode was quite depressing, which I was, so the episode, for anyone who's wondering what I'm on about, is I was in here, it's like 2 episodes ago, and I was just, I've mentioned in the video, that's the first time I started to think like, what am I doing? Summer had kind of come to an end. I'd stopped them being able to earn as easily. I'd not made as much money as I thought I was gonna. I'd not sailed as much as I thought I was gonna, and there was a feeling that it was kind of coming to an end, and I didn't really know what to do. However, that was now like 4 months ago, and probably was about 3.5 months ago, let's say, and still here and still surviving, and you know, opportunities are still coming up, and if I didn't put that in of what it was like while I was there, I wouldn't really be telling the truth. And I hope that I get to look back on them, and I think I've said this before, I get to show how maybe then I wasn't really in a good frame of mind, but even despite that, we managed to move forward. But a few people as well, they're not on YouTube, have said, somebody said to me who, I can't remember if I said this in the last update, so if I did, apologies, but somebody said to me who wanted some help doing some like Facebook advertising. So I was on the phone to them and they said to me, oh, what, like, and they had a look on YouTube, and they then started telling me, oh, people would be much more interested if he was just showing how he was escaping the Matrix, was the term they used. And I said, well, I'm just showing it as honest as it is, and sometimes that means that I wasn't in a good frame of mind, or I didn't feel at best, and there's reasons why. And you know, I've said before that I had to adapt to a lot of things, and sitting at anchor in the dark and not really knowing what to do, and all the rest of it meant sometimes I weren't going to feel great, and sometimes that does, there's more of that than the good stuff. But essentially, hopefully it flips eventually. And yeah, the person was telling me, oh well, it's boring, just tell him what's honest, you just need to show the parts that everything you're doing to escape the norm, etc. And I am essentially in a way doing that, but I also find it very difficult to pick the GoPro up and act. And sometimes I find I don't record because if I'm not in the right frame of mind, I don't want to pick the GoPro up and show me in a not good frame of mind sometimes, and I'll try and explain it the best I can after. But the last thing I'm good at doing is being able to pick the GoPro up like I was there and act. I just, it's something I can't do, and I hope in the long run it works out, and I hope that kind of answers why some of the episodes are a bit like that. I don't set out to make them like that, and I wish that a couple of them would have been like, I mean, that was a crash, weren't it? I think one of the fenders must have broke. sometimes it's more dangerous being in the port than out there, I think. Yeah, as I say, and I keep saying, I hope we all get to look back at them episodes that maybe have been a little bit depressing and made it to where I want it to be, and it shows that it can be done. So I thought I'd answer that in like a video, because I didn't really know how to type it back. So yeah, but that's, as I say, I am still here. And regarding the job as well, I'll just quickly touch on this, but for me to go back to home, and I've half done an episode about what I'd class as home, but by the time I took the cost of getting back there, accommodation, I can't leave the boat here for a month because I've got to be out. If I left it now, and the guy who's trying to get rid of the boat, and the opportunity that actually is to then have a boat that's working again and has some value to it, I could give that up in order to go earn maybe £1,000. But how much of the £1,000 would I have left after I took into account keeping the boat in the Ciotat, probably where I'd have to go? It cost me €360 to keep the boat there for a month and not actually be on it. Flights, etc. And I'd have to obviously find a job too. It's not a guarantee that I'd just have one like that. So there's various different reasons why I'll take this as far as I can, and I promised myself, and I promised you guys at the beginning, I would take it as far as I can, and I'm not there yet. So there's still a bit further I can take it. There's some ideas to make some money, and I need to go sort that out though. And there's ideas to make some money, and actually to think that episode where I didn't really know what I was going to do, or when I got here, because I've been here nearly 3 months now. I think I got here around about the 10th of 3 months ago. I'm struggling to work out, but I've calculated it the other day. I've nearly been on the 10th. I think I'll have been here for like 3 months. At the time, to think, oh, what on earth are you going to do for 3 months now? But 3 months nearly has passed, and I might not have gone anywhere. I might not have got much done to the boat, but various different things has happened. There's potential to even get this one fixed from here if I end up having to do that, or fix the main problem I've got with a furler. And yeah, the time's passed. I've caught up with the YouTube episodes. I've tried a few different things to make some money. As I said in the last update, some of them haven't worked, but I haven't given up on them yet. It's just they've had to take a bit of a backseat until I can get back on to doing them, and I've thought of obviously ideas that can make some money. So we're in January now. It's kind of like we're halfway towards, maybe not the summer, but obviously summer here picks up a bit earlier, and as soon as it gets into spring, there'll be more opportunity to earn some money. And as I say, I've got some ideas how I can get that far, so that's why. And I'll take it as far as I can before I kind of get off. And something about that too is, if I end up going back now, and if I wanted to like earn some money, I'd have to get rid of the boat before I got back. I wouldn't be able to get all my stuff back as well, so I'd have nowhere to put it if I did get it back. So I've got to take it as far as I can take it. So I think I've explained as much as I can. And if you have any more questions about that, do ask. But I know obviously I open myself up for that if I'm on a video saying I don't know what to do and oh me, and I never really want it to come across as oh me, and hopefully it gets better. But as I say, we've survived 3 months of if we take October, November, December, January, February and March, we're halfway there, and it's past. So if we can keep moving forward, and have survived the second winter on a boat. Because there's not many people out there, other sailing channels, that surviving kind of on their own, because there's no family around here. The people I see are like the people from the port, etc. So it is a story to tell, and I'll take it as far as I can, and I think there's still some room to take. And I've got €40 somewhere, so I'm safe for the minute. Anyway, mystery box time. So this, in line with everything I was just saying, is I put a few of them episodes on recently, and myself, although they got quite a few views, etc., something I've worried about is how I'm gonna like improve the videos, because financially I'm not in a position to go like buy the things that I need to replace. And one of my Patreons sent me a message saying the channel's never going to grow if people are clicking on. So everything we've discussed earlier in this update, and actually offered to buy me a replacement GoPro, and I am honestly blown away by how kind and how kind that is. Like I felt it felt the hardest. It was, see, I'm lost for words. Accepting it almost felt like I shouldn't have been doing it, and they explained to me that they wouldn't be in the position they was in if somebody hasn't helped them, and they thought that what I'm trying to do would actually, there's potential in it, but it's never going to grow while the audio quality on the videos are quite bad. In the discussion I had with them, I was going to get a GoPro 10, because the one that I was using before was a 6, and it's quite limited in some things. Like the one I had before this was I can't remember for sure if it was a 7 or an 8, but it worked a lot better than this one did. And as I say, this one's broken, and I'll show you in an upcoming video. I'm going to compare the two and show you why it's broken, but it's just going to enable me to do like a lot more than I could do before. So for example, it allows me to use this one as a webcam, and this one I could never use as a webcam. So it allows me to be able to, while editing videos, have it on as a webcam and record them bits a lot easier. And it's just going to allow me to do a lot more. And obviously it's not broke, so it stabilizes the videos like the old one used to do, and even beyond that. So I really can't say thank you enough. I remember me and my friend used to watch Wildlings Sailing when it was Wildlings Sailing, and I do still watch a few of Wildling Now Sailing episodes. And I remember I used to think when they would get sent something like, that's insane. I never imagined on this channel, like, I never imagined I'd have any like patrons or people who support on coffee and stuff. And for somebody, a lot of sailing channels you might watch get like sponsorships, etc., and that tends to happen when you already made it. So like, I'm blown away, and really I can't say thank you enough. And not only just the financial boost of being able to do it, but the motivational boost it gave me. It's like the kick up the arse I needed as well, to be able to, you know, just get back into picking this GoPro up every day, because I've not really been doing it because I knew it was broken. So I've had to play around with this one, and back to being able to fly the thing around and it be more forgiving, and back to being able to record outside and not have to just record in the shower block on like the laptop webcam. And yeah, I'm really excited to start filming some of the stuff for season 2, and I'm actually just going to refilm a lot of the things I already did so that we can have some really good videos. So that will be the way that I will try and return the massive favour that someone's done for me is by ensuring I make some really good videos, and it's another reason why I'm not ready to give up doing this, and I will take it as far as I can, because my aim is to in the summer be over, I think, the Balearic Islands. We started off selling boat trips, and I started off selling boat trips while I was over in Cannes, and you know, there's probably more market for it over there, I think, and I think we can do really well. I've just got to see through the winter, but the things this is going to be, I'm going to be able to do now on this, I'll do in an episode, because I could be here a while on this update. But for example, I can connect a wireless microphone because it's the 12. Oh, sorry, I was saying I was going to go with a 10 because somebody had just said they will buy me a GoPro, and a 10 would probably have been sufficient, and I did go to the shop to buy a 10, and I got there and they had no 10s in stock. And just, I say how lucky I am all the time, but luck would have it, I think they're stopping stocking GoPros in that shop. And if you've ever seen like GoPros in a shop, they're always in the glass case, aren't they? So it's not like the exposition model has been out and people are picking it up and off the thing. And because it was the exposition model, I managed to buy it for roughly, and I'm like, I think it's like €40 more than the GoPro Black was going to be. But the same person who kindly has done this for me, and this will blow your mind, not blow your mind, but not only did they like send me the money to buy a GoPro, but when they asked how much, etc., they then sent a bit extra and told me to get some beers, a few beers and stuff as well. So I managed to get a 12 and a few beers, and I am super grateful, so thank you very much. And while I'm on the did I mention the wireless mic? Yeah, this one is, I think, the only one where you can connect a wireless microphone, which will allow me to be able to have a microphone here even when the GoPro's on the other end of the boat filming something, and the boost is going to be massive to this channel. Like, so again, thank you so much. I am beyond grateful, and as I say, I will make sure it gets the use and it does some good for this channel. So as far as sponsors go, I guess that kind of is a sponsorship, not from GoPro but from a very kind Patreon. I'm not sure when I recorded this if they would want me to mention them directly, but they know who they are, and thank you. And while I'm on the thank yous, see, I always feel like I haven't said thank you enough, but while I'm on the thank you, I just have to say thank you as well, because I think I didn't get in the last video. That obviously, as always, to everyone who supported on Coffee and Patreon, so the regular patrons, and then sometimes it's not a regular patron, but like some people who then do like quite often do donations on Coffee and stuff. So I try to thank every time someone does do it. So everybody who does it every month, they know who they are, and I'm gonna try get better at remembering to add the subtitle thank yous at the end of the video, like most channels do. But then somebody else who, you know, over the month of December made a few donations and actually sent one on Christmas Eve. So Paul, who did that, thanks for that as well. It's really appreciated, and that actually did buy me a nice bottle of wine and some nice food for Christmas, so that's really, really appreciated, as is everybody who has donated. I try to say it in every video, and then I always get really worried that I didn't say one, but I think I've said every time someone has. But I'm super grateful for everyone who supports in that way. And while I'm on the thank yous, and just to end this video, everybody who comments, and even everyone who comments, likes and shares the video, because we wouldn't be celebrating that first milestone if it wasn't for the people who do that and watch the videos. and I wouldn't be able to do any of this just on my own, because I obviously need people to watch the videos. And we're one step closer to what we want to do with this channel. And yeah, I just point out as well that them comments that I said that I wanted to answer, it's not that they were, I just should really say I agree with them. I just thought I'd explain why I'm not doing what probably would make a lot of sense to everybody else. So on that note, thanks for watching. In the next few days, hopefully rounded off season 1, and I'm going to get to work on filming season 2 and how we're going to get out of here and move forwards. So thanks for watching, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.